In a reactive world, emotional control is power, but few things test emotional control more than being ignored. Because when someone ignores you, it feels personal. Being ignored is a strange experience. There is no argument, no explanation, no clear rejection, just silence. And sometimes silence feels heavier than words because silence leaves space for interpretation, and the human mind does not like unanswered questions. The brain's reaction when someone ignores you, your brain immediately begins searching for meaning. You might think, did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? Did they lose interest? The mind tries to fill the gap, but without information, it often fills the gap with insecurity. That's why being ignored can feel so uncomfortable. Why silence feels so powerful. Psychologically, silence removes feedback. Humans rely heavily on social signals, a smile, a response, a reaction. These signals confirm connection. When those signals disappear, uncertainty appears, and uncertainty creates emotional tension. The ego reaction. Sometimes the strongest reaction to being ignored comes from the ego. The ego expects acknowledgement. It expects response. It expects recognition. When those expectations are not met, the ego interprets silence as disrespect. That interpretation can trigger frustration, anxiety, or anger. But the reaction often reveals more about our expectations than the other person's intention. Not every silence is personal. One important truth is often overlooked. Not every silence is about you. People ignore messages for many reasons. They may be busy. They may be overwhelmed. They may not know how to respond, but the mind tends to assume the worst because the brain prefers a negative explanation over uncertainty. The discipline of not chasing. This is where emotional discipline becomes important. The instinctive reaction to being ignored is to chase clarity, send another message, ask another question, try to force a response. But sometimes chasing answers create more discomfort because it communicates urgency and insecurity. Emotionally disciplined people approach silence differently. They pause, they observe, they allow space because they understand that not every situation requires immediate resolution. What silence reveals. Silence can also reveal patterns. If someone repeatedly ignores you, that behavior communicates something, not necessarily hostility, but priorities. People usually respond to what they value, and when responses are absent consistently, it may reveal where you stand in their priorities. This realization can feel uncomfortable, but clarity is valuable because clarity helps you decide where to invest your energy. Respecting your own energy. One of the most powerful responses to being ignored is emotional neutrality. Not anger, not chasing, not dramatic conclusions, just awareness. Awareness of how others behave and awareness of how you choose to respond. When your sense of value does not depend on immediate responses, silence loses its emotional power. You remain stable regardless of someone else's behavior, and stability is strength. The long-term perspective. In the long term, emotional discipline protects your peace. Not every message requires urgency. Not every silence requires interpretation. And not every connection deserves constant attention. Learning to remain calm in uncertain moments builds resilience, and resilience creates independence. Remember something simple: being ignored only hurts deeply when your value depends on someone else's response. When your sense of self becomes stable, silence becomes information, not rejection. If you are building emotional control in a reactive world, stay here. This channel is for thinkers. Control your emotions or they will control you.
Oh, the quiet feels a
This part is so
weary
funny, look.
burden.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
And my heart is tossed in waves of doubt. When your silence leaves a soul uncertain, who'd give me strength to figure out? This stillness ain't no valley of rejection, just a sign of where your thoughts may roam. Oh, this quiet ain't no valley of rejection.
Oh, look at this meme.
Just a sign of where your
That's
thoughts.
hilarious. I guess I'll just sit here then.